been apparent for quite some time, but Turtle's all grown up back here on the Rich Eisen Show. One of the stars of Power on STARZ. Season 4 premiered back in June. Every Sunday at 9 Eastern Time, we can check out Jerry Ferrara. We can also see him on Shooter on USA Network. We had Omar Epps in the other day talking about his Cowboys. Now Jerry Ferrara from that show as well, back here on the show, talking about our G-Men and more. Good to see you, brother.
It's good to be here. And I had a couple of spirited debates with Omar, Giants-Cowboy talk.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet, because it was funny when he was here on Monday. I can't even tell anymore.
Yeah, Monday. Right.
They all bleed together. We had Patrick Peterson on the segment after him. And Patrick was on the phone while we were wrapping up the segment with Omar. And he's just like, yeah. I'm like, Patrick Peterson's coming up next. He goes, we play them. And, you know, Cowboy Nation's going to show up. And I put Patrick on the phone on him.
It's real. Omar, like, it's real with him. Like, he loves the Cowboys. I felt him out. We had a conversation after about 2 minutes. It wasn't like a Cowboy fan who doesn't know. Like, that dude is savvy, and he wants a ring for Dallas.
I know. In the same way that you want another one for the Giants. Before we move on, do you want to soothe his mind at all with a Sterling Shepard update? Because
yes,
I know
please.
that you've been concerned about what's going on with him.
You know, it's just ended up being a sprained ankle.
That's it?
Badly rolled ankle.
Badly rolled ankle.
Well, because when I read tears, then I actually got tears in my eyes.
When you read carted off in tears, trainers, the whole bit, that usually equals something particularly awful for a young player.
I immediately went to the place of like, oh, well, maybe it's good we drafted a offensive receiving tight end then. That's where my mind went to right out of the gate.
Evan Ingram is and I don't mean to get you all fired up.
No, let's do it.
Okay. And I've said this before, and I'm not just saying it for the benefit because you're here, Jerry. Evan Ingram with a healthy Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham, and now Brandon Marshall in the role of a number 3 receiver, wise old Yoda type receiver that he's never really had to play that role.
Red zone threat, which the Giants would struggle in.
Absolutely. Certainly if you're wondering about your running game.
Right.
Okay. The defense from last year, Landon Collins, to me, was the defensive player of the year last year. And I'm expecting that defense to show up again in the same manner. I think they win. I would vote for the Giants in our poll question today that they win the NFC East. Certainly if you take on the Cowboys without Ezekiel Elliott in week 1, as everyone's expecting, in the Jones Mahal, where usually, except for that one moment where Tony Romo stuck it in the end zone with 2 seconds left because of
that hurt.
Ball and clock management that the Giants employed prior. I like the Giants to win the NFC East, and I'm not ready to say it yet fully officially, but I like them to win the NFC, period.
Look, I really felt that was a championship defense up until Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary with no time left on the clock. That defense was playing in the playoffs against a great quarterback really well. Now, that Hail Mary happened and everything obviously went awry, but and we lost DRC. I'm with you. I try to be realistic, but we are certainly set up to go on the run. Now you got to stay healthy. You see things that happen with Shepard, but I've been excited in the past, but I am very excited about this Giants team because we have defense to go with the offense. It's not just one side of the ball that's looking good.
That's true. And now this kid Evan Ingram, I'm really high on him. I'm really his athletic skill set. And I'm told that his blocking skills is also something that's
what I was a little worried about. Is it? Yeah.
No, that's what I'm hearing. He's blowing defensive ends away, and these.
Do one of the backs step up, which will be huge for us. If one of these running backs, if Perkins, or even if we can get Vereen healthy for more than a few games, if someone steps up.
I'm surprised they didn't go after LeGarrette Blount.
I thought that was going to happen.
That would have been a great fit.
Perfect.
And LeGarrette Blount, now he's with the Eagles.
I know. If they would have maybe met the Patriots in the Super Bowl, that would have been a great little storyline for us to talk about.
Are the Eagles still leading our poll question of who's winning the NFC East?
What?
Let's take a look. The Eagles are at 26%. The Cowboys are at 25.5%. The Giants are at 24.5%. And the Redskins are at 23.5%.
Are you only running this poll in Philadelphia?
I'm surprised, too.
Carson Wentz, hype. It's real. It's happening.
Alshon Jeffrey, LeGarrette Blount in that mix. They already, had Jordan Matthews sitting there. Ryan Matthews coming back, right? I'm not missing anything on that front. The Eagles defense, I still need to see that to believe that. Here's how I'm going. You tell me if I'm nuts. Because, game day morning season previews coming up in about 3 weeks.
Yes.
And we're here.
Yes.
We're here. We're here. I'm thinking of one last Brady Eli go at it in Minnesota. Another dome stadium. One last Brady Eli showdown for Tom to go for 6. One for the other thumb. And finally slay the Eli Dragon, or Eli. This is as delicious a storyline as out there, or the Kryptonite one more time gets his 3rd, and he seals his Hall of Fame credentials undoubtedly. Now I know the Cowboys and everyone else in that division have an issue with it. Packers, Seahawks, Cardinals. Someone from the NFC South is going to be better than we think because that happens every year.
I'm thinking about. I mean,
that can't get you off of all that.
You go 3-0 against Tom Brady. I mean, that does something for your legacy. I think that's probably going to be the most unique legacy you could have. Really. Yeah. Think about it. I'm not saying like that he makes him the greatest quarterback ever. I'm just saying you go 3-0 against arguably the greatest quarterback ever.
He is. I think that that's how we started our show, even though we weren't expecting to do that.
That definitely adds to a unique legacy that I don't think you could really find with any other player, where he built his legacy on beating the one guy who's the best.
Who concerns you though in the NFC more than anybody?
I mean, look, always going into Philadelphia concerns me. I feel like the Giants haven't won in Philadelphia in a long time. I get a little nervous. The Packers scare me the most. Aaron Rodgers scares me the most. He scares me more because I meant what I said. That defense, the Giant defense in the first half was playing amazing. The Packers could not move the ball.
Well, Odell
and they still had a lead at halftime. Odell did drop that pass, but the Packers still had a lead. And then the second half was just a bloodbath. Aaron Rodgers scares me the most.
Because when he gets red hot,
nothing you could do. You're helpless.
Exactly. But you have to win that division. I think the Giants need to win that division, get a home game, maybe even a bye week. And
that would be nice.
Well, I know that would be nice, but I think that's what they need to have. Whereas Aaron Rodgers, as we know, can go on some run on the road, and he's done that before, et cetera, et cetera. Even though Eli has come from the wild card spot, beaten Favre. I mean, he ended Favre's Packers career.
That was such a great road warrior.
Coughlin's face is still, by the way.
I think we talked about that last time. That was the biggest, one of the best subplots in a great game that you're watching. Like, is Tom Coughlin going to lose part of his face? It's due to frostbite.
By the way, we'll take a break and come back and talk some hoops and some baseball with you, Jerry Ferrara.
Okay.
We had Coughlin on the show. What was that, about a month ago, Brockman? We had him. Front office of the Jaguars. Yeah. They said he is calling in at 10:45 in the morning Pacific time. We took our breaks to make sure we were back by 10:40. Guess what rang at 10:40?
Coughlin time. Coughlin time. He's calling at 10:45, so you better be ready at 10:40.
That's exactly what we did.
Love it.
We're back in 60 seconds with Jerry Ferrara. I am going to wean Jerry Ferrara off the New York Knicks. That's next here on The Rich Eisen Show. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Jerry Ferrara hanging out with us here in the show studio. Apparently a little bit of sigh of relief for you with Sterling Shepard and the Giants and the wide receiver.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. The Los Angeles Chargers, for years, is the San Diego Chargers, and Phillip Rivers having trouble being protected because that offensive line would have so much injury on it to protect him. Keenan Allen's gone down 2 of the last 3 years.
Oof.
So what did the Chargers do? First round, they go Mike Williams, wide receiver out of Clemson. And then they go Forrest Lamp, an offensive lineman out of Western Kentucky, one of the top linemen on Mike Mayock's draft board. Mike Williams is yet to show up in training camp on a practice field because of a back injury. And Forrest Lamp was just carted off about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, jeez. No.
With an apparent right leg injury. I mean, are the Chargers, it doesn't matter where they are right now. Snake bit. Bosa, as you remember last year, didn't play the first couple games because he held out so long. Wow. So another injury to keep an eye on with Forrest Lamp carted off in Costa Mesa, where the Chargers are holding their first practices as the Los Angeles Chargers. LaDainian Tomlinson's on tomorrow's edition of the Rich Eisen Show as he goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. So You and the Knicks. Now, out of all the teams, Yankees, Knicks, Giants, if I had to give you a choice of one team that had to win it all, who would that be?
Not even a question. The Knicks, because it's the only.
Come on.
It's the only. Look, I've been very spoiled. It's the only franchise loyalty I have that has not given me a championship in my lifetime.
So why are you so loyal to the Knicks? Because I grew up. Where'd you-
Brooklyn.
Okay, Staten Island.
Right.
Okay, my guy growing up, Bernard King.
Sure.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
BK.
Before that, we're talking about like the Rory Sparrow, Bill Cartwright, Marvin Webster Knicks. Okay?
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit older than you, right?
Right, but I remember because wasn't that part of the Oakley trade? So I
Well,
always
no.
followed.
This is pre Bernard King. That's how old I go. I go beyond you.
So you've been suffering longer than me.
Correct. Correct. And I remember I was driving with my parents and my brother to our aunt and uncle's house in New Jersey in the back of the Pontiac Blue Safari station wagon when
Yes.
we heard on WINS radio the news flash that the Knicks had gotten Patrick Ewing. They won the lottery. I remember I remember my flashbulb memory. I remember where I was when Dave DeBuscher won the lottery for the Knicks.
You know, I could recall the first basketball game that I watched as a kid that I actually knew everything that was going on. And it was a Knicks Bulls game. I think it was on Martin Luther King Day when Trent Tucker
hit the three-pointer.
I remember that game. That was the first one. That was the first basketball game I watched where I knew everything.
They changed the rules on how much time you can be able
That's
to.
what .4 became, right?
You needed at least .3 or .4 to get a shot off because Trent Tucker did not get that shot off against the Bulls.
I got a long history with this team. I can't.
So do I. I'm done, Jerry.
Why you can't be done,
Why?
Rich?
Why?
Because that's what being a sports fan is all about. The suffrage, and when they get to the point 30 years from now, where we're sitting here and they have a title, maybe take 30 years, it'll be worth it.
Is Dolan still the owner?
Probably, yeah. Like
They
wow.
dragged Charles Oakley
No,
out of MSG.
I know.
They dragged his ass out of there.
That hurt.
And Dolan let him sit in jail for a night.
That hurt.
Are you kidding me?
That hurt.
I mean, to me, that tore it up. And then the number of times that we have seen coaches being brought in, general managers being brought in, even he touched Phil and Phil died.
I'm like digging into your
Okay,
chair
no, I'm
right
serious.
now. I'm sorry
And
for
at
the
some
damage I'm
point-
causing.
No, but then there's a purple unicorn like you know
JP?
that Porzingis comes along and it renews your hope, and then they drag Oakley out of there. To me, that was it for me. That was it for me.
You're done.
Especially since he says, Dolan says Phil can stay, even though his 80 and 166 record should bounce him regardless. He can stay. Let's let him pick the groceries, even though we hear he's fallen asleep during some practices.
Just nodding.
Right. Tell me where I'm wrong on this. All right. And then let's let him draft, threaten Porzingis, ruin relationships with our best commodity and our best hope,
Draft for a system that nobody wants to run.
and then fire him.
Look,
And let Carmelo dangle. I mean, let's give him a no trade clause, and then drag his name through the mud in the media, and all the while, this guy. Have you seen JD in the Straight Shots play? Are you that big of a fan? Yes, live.
I have not been live.
What do you
no.
mean live? So you've taken them in on demand?
I mean, I've definitely
downloaded?
been on the YouTube. Just wanted to see what it was all about. Maybe even had I really did enjoy that there was a concert on draft night that he had to attend. That was really. I had some fun on Twitter with that one.
I'm all for delegating to people to do the thing that they're supposed to be doing, but not when you're thinking of firing them and they're threatening to trade your best commodity. That's where you need to get the hands on 10 and 2 and take the car keys away from your kid.
I only have one thing that would make me be out. Like, I understand why you're out. In the case you just laid out, I really cannot refute anything you just said and encourage you to still stay a fan. I get it. The only thing I will say is, once you're out, it's really hard to come back. It's like in 10 years, if they're good, we will remember that you're out, Rich, and that's fine. You might say, I'm still out. That was enough for me to be out. The only thing that would really would make me go, if they traded Porzingis, like that was the scariest. I hate what they did to Melo, and I want Melo to get traded because I want him to go somewhere. It's like an ex that you really want to go on and like meet someone great. Like go, I want you to have a great life. Like I want him to go be successful.
Yes.
I'm still in. I will always be in. If they traded Porzingis, and those rumors are what hurt me, whether they were true or not, that's what hurt me the most. If they did that, then I would be out.
You'd be out.
Yes.
Like to the point where 10 years from now.
Wow.
I'm still out.
But
I'd still be out.
But right now you're still in.
I'm in. Yes.
So
I'm in.
Jerry Ferrara, I'm trying to let this studio, this show, be the equivalent of the white van that I've thrown you in the back of to deprogram you and send you back to your family a better person. And you're still in love with your captor, is essentially what you're saying.
The feelings that those 90s Knicks gave me, and this is a team that did not even win a championship and broke my heart in 94 against the Rockets, but those feelings of watching those NBA on NBC games and all, there was nothing like it for me.
Marv did those games.
Oh, I remember.
Dolan sent him out
I know.
too.
I know.
Marv, I fell in love with the Knicks and this type of job through Marv. Dolan sent him out too. I'm telling you, those days are gone, Jerry.
So what do I do?
Well, you trade half your team for Kyrie Irving.
That's one. I mean, I have a good team-in-law now. I'm a married man.
Who's your team-in-law?
She's from Cleveland, so I have a team-in-law that are the Cavs. Although they have some stuff going on.
There's the Clippers here, Lonzo.
I can't. Like, for all my friends growing up that jumped ship the minute the Nets moved to Brooklyn, like, to me that's just like the biggest sports sin you could commit. I can't do it. I don't flip-flop. I've managed to still enjoy basketball without having a hat in the ring. I still love watching the game, but
Jerry,
I'm so.
Let me just take one last run at this. Look at you. Look at you.
Great.
If we showed this Jerry Ferrara to the Jerry Ferrara, 15, 20 years ago?
Okay. Oh.
Okay. You'd be like, yes, that's Jerry Ferrara. Okay. Why do you need to now be still a Knick fan from that Jerry Ferrara when you have been toyed with, messed with, absolutely abandoned?
I can't even look at you right now.
You can't look at me. And I'm staring.
Can't even look at you in the
staring
face.
at you. Okay, look, fine. Let's revisit this. Next time you come in and see, just put a pin in this. Think about this. And every time Dolan does something stupid, which is let's set our watch, or next time the Knicks disappoint, think of me. Think of this conversation.
I can't do it, Rich. I can't leave them. I can't
quit them.
I can't. It's what being, to me, it's what sports fandom is all about. You have to get through this.
The highs and the lows.
Fan short for fanatic.
Got to deal with the pain to enjoy the success. You know what I'm saying?
Can't spell fanatic without fan. Power shooter. What else you got going on right now, man? It's all crushing it. You're doing a great job.
Yeah,
with everything.
I actually want to slow down. I'm too lazy. This is too much. I want to take some time.
Okay.
It's too much. No. Yeah. I mean, I'm getting ready to leave to go back to New York for a job. I can't really talk too much about now, but probably in a year from now. Look, life is good. I have to say, I'm very, very lucky. And if the Knicks could just turn it around, I got no complaints.
Boy. Okay. How is you're now? I mean, that ring on your finger is how old? Like a month? That's it?
Yeah. So I finally got a ring. This is how I had to,
See, that's the Knick fan in you.
We go about it. I got a ring.
Finally got that ring.
I got a ring. Any means necessary.
And she's from Ohio?
She's from Ohio, yeah. She, like I said, Ben Lyons, my good buddy, kind of created this team-in-law thing. So we have such a good trade-off where, like, she gets the Giants over the Browns. I get the Cavs over the Knicks. So, like, we have a good, and the Indians and Yankees are on good paths. So we have a good sports relationship.
My teams-in-law are all New England.
That's why I've always been single, Rich. My teams always win.
Okay. Yeah.
Love is a battlefield.
I understand that. And I have ceded ground on the Patriots because I cannot, I grew up a Jet fan.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, child services would come take me away if during the Brady Belichick era my children grew up and didn't side with their mom. Okay?
I mean, we want to talk about getting you off the Jet. I could flip this right back on you about getting.
How off of that am I, Brockman?
You're off.
Am I?
You've been off.
I'm still in somewhat there.
You have to be. Yeah.
Because the Jets, Woody Johnson didn't drag Joe Namath's ass out of the stadium.
Breathe. Relax. Thank you.
You could tell when I get caught up.
I love a fired up Rich.
There.
I love when Rich gets fired up. It's my favorite Rich.
Cut me off in traffic. You'll see it. Great to see you, man.
Always.
You've got Power, Shooter on STARZ and USA Network, respectively, and even more importantly, beautiful wife at home. So congratulations on all that, Jerry.
Thank
Come
you
back
very
when you're free, anytime. We'll talk fantasy. We'll do all sorts of good stuff.
Yes.
Okay, Jerry Ferrara, still in the Knicks stranglehold for whatever his reasoning. I guess he's the beauty and the Knicks are the beast. He's still stuck in the library.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that video, be sure to download our app. Don't have any memory on your phone? Let's start to delete some of those slow-mo videos you have. And you know which ones I'm talking about.